Good morning, everybody. I apologize. I did not have my microphone turned on. So thank you so much for joining us today for the Agency Builder webinar titled Structuring Your Agency. I am Christy Wilbert, Vice President of Medicare Offerings here at URL Insurance Group, and I'll be your host today. Before we get started, I just want to take a quick poll. I am going to put this up on your screen. I think some of you actually already answered it because I popped it up there while I had my mic turned off, so I do apologize. It looks like the majority of you out there today are independent agents looking to grow a downline, which is fantastic. That shows that you are an independent and you are doing well and successful in the business that you are writing, and you want to bring in more people in your agency to grow your agency, and that's fantastic. That's what we're looking for today. No captive agents out there, but there are some of you looking for succession planning, and we can definitely get into that a little bit. URL does offer something for you in that respect. So if you want to, I'm just going to walk you around your screen really quickly. There should be a blue chat box that you can go ahead and click. It'll open up the chat that is public with the group. There's a Q&A option there for you. And then handouts. I do have some good handouts. The short presentation that I have here for you today is structured in a flyer there that you can download and keep with you on structuring your agency. There is a business plan there for you. That's a template for you to fill out. And then some links to our website. So number one, when you figure out that structuring your agency or being more than just a single entity, one person shop, you really want to sit down and do a business plan. I know some of you know that my background is in the P&C world, and in property and casualty or home and auto and business insurance, you don't have an FMO that you can go to and get all of the carrier contracts to sell all the different carriers or lines of business. So you actually have to go out and obtain those directly from the carrier and kind of prove your value and your worth, and that you're going to write enough business to make your contract valid. So in order to do that, you have to create a business plan for each carrier. And I just got in a great habit of doing that. I'm very experienced in doing it. I think it's a great tool for everybody to do. So if you are looking for help on that, definitely reach out to me. But it keeps you on task and focused and clear on what your priorities are. Step number 2 would be personal and business license. So I'm sure most of you already hold your personal license for health or life or whatever that may be. When you want to structure an agency, you also have to get a business license. So we're going to talk about that more on Thursday. If you want to register for that webinar on how to get a business license, how to start an LLC, and all that jazz. So register for that. I'm not going to go into detail on that today. But step number 3 would be E&O insurance. If you're a Gemini agent with URL, you get free E&O insurance as an independent agent, but it does not cover you on the agency level. So once you're a true agency, you do need to purchase agency E&O. So that is different. Business bank account. So now that you have a business, you need to have a business bank account. It can't any longer be going into you as an individual. And then only if Medicare obviously is an option, you do have to get AHIP certified. Okay, so now you're ready to act as an agency. So now you have to pick your FMO if you haven't already done that as an independent before. So obviously you want to look for an FMO that matches your business philosophy and offers services that you value. You know, we hear all the time that either somebody's had a really bad experience with an FMO, or on the complete opposite, that every FMO is the same, which it's funny because that's totally 2 different contradicting statements. I will tell you that not all FMOs are the same, and you should definitely shop them because everybody, has different values, has different perspectives, has different ways that they run their business. Yes, a lot of the offerings can be the same, but really the people are what make a huge difference, and the knowledge that the people have. So we, as URL, are going to have an FMO webinar next Tuesday. Again, so if you want to go out to our training library and register for that, we would love to have you. After that, the agency and the agency principal contract for all the carriers. So if you're the agency principal, it's your business, you're contracting as both the agency and the principal. So that's you and the agency are one. And once you yourself have all the contracts done, then you can start contracting anybody under you or that works at your agency. It can't all be done at the same time. In order for an agency to receive commissions, and that's why most people decide that they're going to start an agency, that they want all the commissions to flow into the agency, the agency has to be contracted and ready to sell and certified. So that's step one. And then all the contracting can go down to your downline agents. So when we say downline agents, we just mean anybody that works at the agency at whatever level that may be. Okay, if you're ready to hire downline agents, what is something that you can offer them? What makes it attractive? Why do they want to work for you or with you? Obviously, a huge one is going to be training. Most of the people that you're going to bring in, they may have worked, if you're lucky, another line of business before, but maybe they're new to what you're going to have them do in the office, which in my case would be Medicare, but that doesn't just apply to Medicare. So training is going to be a big one. Are you going to be able to let them sit in on your appointments? Are you going to go on appointments with them? Are you going to show them everything? And obviously URL helps with that a lot here, but we're not going to be able to be on the road with your person. So how much training are you going to be offering them? Do you have office space to support them? Are they going to be coming into the office every day, or is this a remote situation? Admin support. Do you have a secretary? Do you have an appointment setter? What are you offering again? Access to systems, equipments, tools, websites, leads. A lot of agencies have money set aside every month that they're spending in leads to show value to their downline agents. Tied to a name and not starting from scratch. So if you've been an agent independent for years and years, you know how hard that is to start from scratch. And now you have a good referral source coming in, which is the one way you want to grow your business. Somebody that's just starting out isn't going to have that brand or name recognition like you do. So that holds a lot of value. So don't undercut yourself there. And then succession planning, we mentioned that. So when you have an LLC or you have an agency and all the commissions coming into the agency, they will continue to get paid that way as long as there is a licensed, contracted, and certified agency principal tied to that agency. So that's why it's good succession planning. So if anything were to happen to you, it could go to either one of your downline agents, if that's how you have it contracted, or your spouse, or your child, or next of kin. They just have to make sure that they hold an insurance license and do all of the testing before the year is over and renewals are coming back out. And we can talk about that more if you're interested. Okay, so there's really only two ways to license a downline agent. It's either LOA or it's independent. What LOA means is licensed only agent. So that's an agent who assigns all their commissions to your agency. And this is the way that you want to do it. This is the correct way. We always have questions about trying to finagle a way to not have to pay your downline agents. But if you're acting as a true agency or a general agency, we like to say, where you're collecting override and you should be paying your agents commissions or salaries. We'll go over that later. But so all of the money should be coming in to the agency, paid to the agency. Okay. This means that the agency owns that book of business. All right. If one of your downline agents decides that they want to leave, that's okay, because you own that book of business. The agency owns that book of business. You can offer them the ability to purchase their clients if they want to, but that book will remain with you if they depart. So the LOA agent isn't giving up their right to service the policy. If they call into a carrier to get information on their client, they are the agent of record. So they have the same access that you do. The only difference is they're not getting paid commissions directly. Commissions, bonuses, and any overrides that are agreed upon are all going to the agency. And then same thing with chargebacks. They're taken from the agency. So it just really protects you and your book of business. Because a lot of times when you're bringing on downline agents, you're really helping them to get customers, or maybe they're even servicing your customers to be helpful to you and your already existing book of business. So if they become an agent of record on one of your clients, you don't want to be paying them, commission for that. You want it to continue to come into the agency, which it will do here. So the other option is for the agent to be independent. And this is a good option when you're not offering all of those incentives that I mentioned before. You're not having a lot of value to this person. So why would you be taking any of their commissions? You want them to get paid directly from the FMO or directly from the carrier, 100% of their commission. So in this case, hopefully you're producing enough that you can get like an override or a higher level contract so that you could earn something on your downline agent. But in the beginning, it's probably not going to be that way. You're at street level. This person is going to be at street level. So you're not getting anything off of their production. And they own their book of business. So if they do decide to unpartner with you, they take their book with them. So this is more for somebody that you want to partner with, not so much have them join as an office manager on your LLC, but you treat them as your equal and they grow their own book of business. Okay, so this is our advice for you just protecting your investment. So value your time, your money, and effort. It's really important that you don't feel selfish in this moment, because when you're thinking about bringing on downline agents, you do bring a lot of value and you are worth something. So make sure that you're taking that into consideration when you're agreeing with your contracts with these downline agents. What value you have to offer in exchange for your override. We talked about that list before. Are you checking 2 of those boxes? Are you checking all 10 of those boxes? And that should be taken into consideration when you're making your contracts. Production requirements and goals. Are you going to have them, have to hit goals to stay employed with you? That's something that needs to be discussed, or maybe yearly, not monthly. Definitely have a non-compete. We do not have something here in the office, but you can get something online for little to no cost, but we don't want to be responsible for any of the non-compete agreements out there. So that is something that you must obtain on your own, either online or through a business attorney. Compensation agreement. Oh, and for those of you that don't know what a non-compete is, I guess I shouldn't assume. It means that they can't rewrite the policies and take them from you. A typical non-compete is usually 2 years. So that just protects your book of business, so that if somebody does leave you, they can't be reaching out to those clients to rewrite them or solicit them in any way for any business. Compensation agreement. We're going to go into what some examples are of this, but you really need to have something written up and signed and notarized by an attorney, by a business attorney. You need to make sure that this is legal and there's going to be no fires that you have to put out later. Most of you, I'm sure, have come from agencies and worked under an agency and had a bad experience because you didn't have a compensation agreement in place. Don't be that person to somebody else. Okay, vesting period or buyout agreement. That's something you should absolutely have in your compensation agreement as well. So maybe, they start out at a certain percentage and that changes by how much they grow your book of business or how long that they're with you. And same thing with buyout agreement. Maybe they're not even able to buy out their book unless they stay with you for 3 years. Those are just suggestions and examples. Okay, so this is probably the biggest question that I get is, how do I pay my downline agents? Really, there are no rules. You are a true business owner at this point. You may pay your employees however you see fit, whatever you think makes sense. And really, the whole beginning of this webinar was to explain to you how to evaluate that exactly. What does make sense? We see a lot of splits of commission. 100% goes into the agency and you decide how you want to pay your downlines. So is that 60-40? Is that 70-30? Where you're paying the majority to the agent that wrote the business and you're keeping a portion of it. Some people even have it flipped around because maybe they're not out aggressively marketing for business. You're doing all of that and they're kind of just taking it on a silver platter and writing it. So in that sense, it would mean the agent gets 30 and you get 70. Or maybe it's a flat fee. We've had people that, pay $100 a policy and maybe they have a small salary. We do have agencies that have it set up that they do have a small salary and they obtain bonuses on a quarterly basis depending on how much they write. So all the commissions that come in are just for the house. They're just for the agency and it pays all the bills, including salaries. So really there's no right way. It's whatever works for you. And it's not that you can't change it. How we explained before, maybe in the contract it's set at a higher split because you're offering a lot of assistance in the beginning, but then after a certain amount of time it changes. And since you're paying it, you can structure it and change it however you want. That doesn't change with us or your contracting. Doesn't affect either. Okay, so where to look when you are ready to recruit some downline agents? Obviously, look for some seasoned agents or those starting out in the business. We have a ton that are always starting out. Typically, they like to attempt it on their own first. And if they don't have luck, they do end up calling back in and say, hey, I'm not writing as much as I wanted to. I really might it might do a lot for me if I work under somebody that's established or that even could mentor me. And so I'd be happy to put you in touch with some people like that. If you're interested, let me know. Look for new, inexperienced agents. That kind of goes, with exactly what I said, inexperienced agents. Top salespeople from other industries. So I always think it's funny when you work with somebody in sales that is really great and they, that they could be making more money somewhere else, like car salesmen, for example, or the things on your roof. What are the solar panel salespeople? The ones that really have to sell you in order for you to buy. Because in my experience, Medicare isn't salesy. It's an educational type of sales position. So they might do very, very well in something different. People that that have the it factor. That could be as simple as your neighbor, a family member, somebody that you trust, a friend that's looking to have a career change, your waitress that you go see every week at your favorite restaurant because she does such a good job. That's endless. And then Indeed is a great tool as well. We use Indeed here to hire extraordinary people, and background really doesn't have much to do with it. It's really the person and their attitude and how much they're willing to learn and be eager and all of that stuff and dedicate the time to it. You got to hire the person sometimes, not really their experience, because all of that can be learned throughout the process. And last but not least, I just wanted to mention that we have our Medicare Connections Conference coming up. It's August 24th, which is a Thursday. It's at the Hershey Lodge. We typically have about 300 agents that come out, and we're really excited to host you again this year live in person. So make sure you register for that on our website. All right, that's all we had for today. I know that was a quick one, but a good topic. We do record all of our webinars. They're hosted on our training library page of the website, and you can also go out to the calendar and actually click on them that way as well and watch the recording at any time. If you have any questions for me, I don't see that there's any coming in now, but if you want to have independent conversations with me as well, I'm here and more than happy to do that with you. So thanks so much, everybody, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.